Hi everybody, welcome to Carnegie Cooks. I'm Elizabeth with the Noonan Carnegie Library, and today we are going to prepare two delicious hot drinks for the fall. The first one we are going to start with is going to be a chai tea latte, and we're going to prepare that in a little crock pot. You can also do it in a small saucepan on your stovetop, whichever one works best for you. And so the base for our chai tea latte is going to be about 1.5 cups of milk, and then we're also going to have about 1/2 cup of water. And then into that we are going to add about 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, about 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, and 1 teaspoon of ground cardamom. And that's the base for the flavors. We're also going to add our tea and some cloves, and since I don't have ground cloves and I have whole cloves, I'm going to put about 1/2 teaspoon of whole cloves into the tea bag with the tea so that it can be strained out of the drink at the end. So I've got my whole cloves, about 1/2 teaspoon, and then I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of black tea. And what I have here is an Indian black tea with a little vanilla flavoring added to it, and this came from World Market. It's World Direct Market at our DeKalb County Farmers Market. They have some delicious teas and coffees there. Okay, so we're gonna get us a good couple of tablespoons. This is a 1/2 tablespoon measure I've got in here, into our tea bag. That tea smells awesome. Just a little bit more. Go and tie that closed. That way the tea and the cloves can be strained out of the drink at the end, so you don't have bits and pieces. You can also just use a strainer if you want to dump the tea directly in there. Get that down into your liquid. We're going to turn that on high, and that's going to need to steep for about an hour. We're also going to add a little bit of sugar for the sweetener. You can use honey if you prefer, or any other sweetener, whatever sweetener works best for you. And so I'm going to do about 4 sugar cubes, which is a couple teaspoons of sugar. Get that stirred around in there good. And because we're using the crock pot, we're going to let that steep for about an hour before we pour it up and see how our chai tea latte came out. So that was cinnamon, and you want a good little bit of cinnamon, so tablespoon and a half for the amount of liquid we had in here. And then a teaspoon or so of ground ginger, a teaspoon or so of ground cardamom. If you have ground cloves, about 1 teaspoon of that. If you have whole cloves, about 1/2 teaspoon is enough, because that's going to steep and be relatively good and strong. All right, and then you need your black tea and a little sugar. Gonna taste wonderful. Goes away. Need a little bit of Cool Whip for our next drink. Alright, so while that steeps, I'm gonna enjoy a little coffee drink. And this is just going to be a super easy, make it home caramel coffee latte. And so what you'll need for that is a couple of spoonfuls of caramel ice cream topping in the bottom of your cup. However sweet you want it, that's how much caramel to use. And this one's super easy, but it tastes just like something you might get at a coffee shop. And then your hot, fresh brewed coffee. Get that mixed in, and it's going to turn your coffee a beautiful caramel color. See that that's changed in color just a little bit. That caramel syrup is wonderful. And it's way better than the flavored syrups because it gives it a little bit of a richness. The ice cream topping does. And then we're going to top that with Cool Whip to make it the latte. Instead of foamed milk, we're going to drop Cool Whip right into the top of it. Just a couple of good solid spoonfuls. And you'll see it starts to melt and drop down into your coffee, and it makes for an awesome at-home coffee shop experience. And I've got a little chocolate that you can chop up and sprinkle on the top. I've also got this awesome cocoa chili blend. You can top it with cinnamon, your choice. The cocoa chili blend smells very aromatic, so put a little sprinkle of that on there as well. And this makes just an awesome drink. I mean, it is just like something you'd get at a Starbucks. It is delicious. All right, so I'm going to enjoy my coffee. And when we come back, this will be thoroughly brewed, and I'll pour that up and show you what that looks like and how that tastes. So we will be back shortly. Thank you. Hi everybody, we're back. This has been brewing for just about an hour or so, and we're going to remove our tea bag that has our tea leaves and our cloves in it. Pull that out, and then we're going to pour up our wonderful chai tea latte into a mug and enjoy it. All right. Oh, that smells awesome. Okay, there we go. Just a little bit of spill there, wipe that up. Okay. So that chai tea latte is milk based with black tea. And it comes out beautiful. Let me show you what that looks like in the mug there. It's got all those wonderful spices in it. And that's a perfect warm drink for fall and winter. So that is cinnamon and cardamom, ginger and cloves, black tea and a little vanilla and sugar for sweetener, or you can use honey or any other sweetener that you like. Oh, that smells so wonderful. Okay. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much for joining me for these two hot drinks that you can make easily at home, and they are just as good as anything you can get at an expensive coffee shop or tea shop somewhere. And I hope you guys enjoyed doing that with me. Please make sure and follow us on Instagram and on our YouTube and on our Facebook. And you can find our webpage at noonandcarnegie.com. Thank you so much.